I'm relationship coach Mel. Let's discuss the arrogance of trying to change a man. Have you ever noticed that in Genesis, Adam doesn't wake up until he meets Eve? Genesis 2 verse 21 to 22 says, "So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man. And while he slept, took one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. And the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman and brought her to the man." This blew my mind when I became a Christian a few years ago, and the more I reflected on it, the more profound it became. Almost 2 decades ago, before my husband and I were married, I used to have a recurring dream where he would yell at me, "Stop trying to wake me up, Melissa! Stop trying to wake me up!" At the time, I thought it was just a strange and random dream, but now I see it as a deeply symbolic message. As women, we often carry an unspoken, almost arrogant belief that it is our duty to heal and save the world. We lean on our deep empathy and profound compassion, convinced that if we love hard enough, we can make others see their worth and rise to their potential. Perhaps this stems from the nurturing, motherly nature God placed within us, but in relationships, this toxic empathy and misguided compassion often leads us into trouble. It deceives us into thinking we can save men who don't want to be saved. It convinces us that our love can fill voids they refuse to address. Sis, let me say this plainly. You cannot love a man into loving himself. And you most certainly cannot love a man into loving you. No amount of effort, care, or sacrifice can awaken someone who has chosen to stay asleep. Over time, I realized my dream wasn't about my relationship. It was a reflection of an unconscious burden I carried, the belief that it was my job to heal the world, to wake people up to their potential, to their truth, to their worth. I now see how heavy and unwise that burden was. And I know I'm not alone in this. Many women fall into this trap, especially in relationships. If you've ever been tempted to call a man emotionally unavailable, pause and ask yourself if you're trying to do what only God can. Remember Genesis. God didn't ask Eve to wake Adam up. That wasn't her job. It was God's. Let him stay asleep if that's what he chooses. Your radiant light, your love, your energy, these are treasures meant for a man who is ready, willing, and worthy of your efforts. Let go of the burden you were never meant to carry. Your job is not to save him. Your job is to stand in your truth, walk in your worth, and trust God to handle the rest. People often talk about many different female archetypes, but the two that are vital for us to be consciously aware of are the healer and the light bearer. The healer believes it is her responsibility to heal others. The light bearer shows others the way to heal themselves through how she cares for herself, rather than sacrificing herself in an attempt to fix others. Here are 5 major differences between the healer and the light bearer. Number 1, impact. The healer temporarily relieves others' pain, but delays her personal growth. The light bearer sparks a lasting transformation by inspiring others to find their own strength. Number 2, relationship dynamics. The healer creates relationships based on rescue, which can foster imbalance and codependency. The light bearer attracts relationships grounded in mutual respect, growth, and shared accountability. Number 3, boundaries. The healer struggles to set limits, saying yes even when it costs her her own well-being. The light bearer maintains firm, loving boundaries that protect her energy and her purpose. Number 4, focus. The healer centers on fixing others' wounds, carrying their burdens as if they were her own. The light bearer illuminates the path by living authentically, encouraging others to take responsibility for their own healing. And number 5, emotional state. The healer often feels drained, frustrated, or unappreciated when her efforts are not reciprocated. The light bearer feels peaceful and fulfilled, knowing her role is to inspire, not to fix. In your personal relationships, whether romantic, friendships, professional, or family, resentment is often a sign that a boundary needs to be set or reinforced. When you feel resentment creeping in, pause and ask yourself, am I showing up in this relationship as a healer or a light bearer? I am Relationship Coach Mel. To learn more about our work and our mission, visit us at wefollowthelight.com and couplesdevelopment.com.